How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you to my viewers, my subscribers, my supporters, friends, family, neighbors, eBay customers, everyone across the board. You've been so amazing, not just to myself, but to each other. As you know, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. It's extremely depressing. It's not nice. I do have some updates concerning that issue, but I'm going to save that for a future video. I really don't want to get into it because I want to try to, kind of like deflate. So, besides that, thank you, everybody. I deeply appreciate your continued support. To my eBay customers, your orders are already on their way to you. So just, follow your tracking numbers and all of that. And, thank you again. I will be listing some more cards, hopefully today. I'm trying to push myself to at least list a half a dozen cards every day. But many of you, in particular, my regular customers, are a little hard to keep up with because, man, that last batch of cards I put up there along with them slabs took off just like that. So thank you for your support of myself and keeping the various hobbies alive. It's not just sports cards, but jersey collecting, sneaker collecting, toy collecting, all that good stuff, and in our darkest times, we all need a distraction. God knows I need to be very distracted right now. So with that being said, we just got over the Subway Series, as you probably have figured out if you're watching my channel on the regular. I am a Mets and Yankees fan. I kind of, view both teams right down the middle. Even though the Yankees are the vastly superior team out of the two, the Mets have been very impressive this year. But again, the Yankees took this series 2-1, so, I mean, it is what it is. And I thought I'd show you something, pretty cool as a Mets and Yankees fan. I actually did this project last year. I mean, there's really nothing complicated to it. It's pretty much straightforward as it is. It's just getting those little details right. And I'm happy to have these, and I actually use these when I go to the batting cage, and let's show these off right now. So the first one I want to show you is a vintage Diamond Collectibles batting helmet that I got on eBay many moons ago. I've actually taken this guy and turned it into a Derek Jeter helmet. Now, there are a lot of reference photos for his helmets, and I'm not trying to claim that this is right off of his head. It is not. Even though it's basically the exact same thing, there's certain nuances and caveats about the player issue helmets that are not present in these. These are just your run-of-the-mill vintage batting helmets that we would use as kids or whatnot. But it was in pretty bad shape. I mean, it's still a little dusty yet, and I did give it some polish. I do have to buff out some of the scratches and whatnot. But like I said, I use these at the batting cage, so there's a certain nuance to them when they look used, especially in this condition. I mean, unless you're a helmet collector or a hobbyist or a sports, memorabilia collector, you want this stuff to be as fresh out of the box as possible. But because these are not player issued helmets, I figure, I'm not going to really go too crazy, shining them and buffing them and all that kind of stuff. So here you have your typical New York Yankees helmet from back in the 90s. And I was able to track down the almost exact or identical numbers that would have been used on these helmets. They're the exact size, so I did mine as a Derek Jeter helmet. I was able to track down a Major League Logo Man sticker right there. It actually came in a kit from Rawlings, I believe. You can get them on eBay. I forgot how much the kit costs, but it comes with raised detailed logos like this, and you can actually buy replacement Yankees logos like this or Mets logos, but I was able to stick that on there. I think the player editions have this reversed. You have, your ABC logo over here, and then you got your Major League Baseball over here. There are all different kinds of configurations on the back of the helmet, but I've never seen it like this, and I think that's intentional because, again, I don't want this to be passed off as it came right off of Derek Jeter's helmet. So, but it's a really, really nice helmet. I mean, again, I did give it one good cleaning and one good buffing, but, being that I use these, again, like I said, there's no point in doing any of that because sometimes I'll get frustrated and toss it to the ground or whatever. But the foam was actually still pliable, but this layer of foam, unfortunately, was deteriorating pretty bad. It was made out of like this artificial leather. It was like a brown material. And having it like this with air conditioning foam, which is essentially what this is, I replaced it with air conditioning foam from Lowe's. I took some silicone paste and pasted a little paste on here and let it sit because, as you know, silicone paste, the clear paste, tends to keep plastics and rubbers pliable. So I was able to save the padding here. I had to re-glue it with epoxy, which you can see maybe a little bit of that right there. I didn't bother too much scraping off all of the stuff on the inside, especially around the brim here. It's holding pretty well. I mean, again, like I've worn these dozens of times. And what's good about this, let me just take off my reading glasses here, is that it's just like the old school. You can wear your hat underneath these, which is awesome because if you watch modern day baseball, these guys' helmets are constantly coming off. And I mean, I could, shake my head around all I want, and this thing will not come off. So that's a benefit to having a thinner piece of foam on the inside. So this is an authentic Diamond Collectibles helmet, which was pretty typical what the players used back then. But again, this is not a player issue. It's the same make and model, essentially. So big difference there. So that's the Derek Jeter helmet that I put together myself. And here's my Mike Piazza. Again, same thing. There's a couple nuances about the player helmet that I wanted to make sure that this couldn't be passed off as his actual helmet. Again, same company, Diamond Collectibles, 7.5, same thing. I applied silicone paste and re-glued this foam, and it's still very pliable, like it's brand new. Same thing with this foam down here. The only thing that I changed was this here. It had the same leather-like material. And I took epoxy and some air conditioning foam and put it around the brim. And again, it fits perfect. From what I've seen in photos across the internet, especially on auction websites, the New York Mets at that time had labels on their helmets without the Major League logo sticker on there. So what I did is I got the raised print label printer because in actuality, a lot of the helmets that I've seen, unless I missed some photos on Google after doing multiple Google searches to try to match these helmets up, they actually had printed labels that they put on these helmets for the players. But, I didn't want to spend a ton of money. And again, my goal is not to try to pass these off as player versions of those helmets. But I ended up getting a raised printing tool for this and printed out the Piazza right there like you see on the back and front of the helmet. And it does its job. I mean, they look amazing. And I'm very happy to have these in my collection. It's always fun to see these two teams go at it because Mets and Yankees fans are just probably the most intense fan base in Major League Baseball. I mean, you can almost make the comparison to, I don't know, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, or Germany and Italy, or Germany and Brazil, or something like that. It's that type of rivalry, Real Madrid versus Barcelona, for example. River Plate versus Boca Juniors in Argentina. They are really, really, really strong rivalries. So, no matter which one you are, if you're a Mets fan or a Yankees fan, it's just fun to have this kind of stuff, and hopefully I get back into the cage real soon. I'm getting that itchy sensation to smack a couple baseballs, but, I've been really busy and been having company coming in and out of my home. Plus, I'm trying to get back on track with my eBay stuff. And, of course, I got to take care of stuff here at home. So, unfortunately, it's business first, pleasure later. So, anyway, thank you so much for checking out this video. This is not going to be a long video, thank God, because I know most of my videos can be 15 minutes and up. But thank you so much again to all of you. To my eBay customers, keep an eye out at my eBay store. I will be listing some sports cards sometime today. Hopefully, if I can make some time. Because again, like I said, it's like Grand Central Station around here these days. I'm so grateful to my friends and my neighbors for showing their support and keeping me company through these really hard times, unfortunately. And God bless my dad. I hope my dad's doing all right. His health is improving just a little bit. I'll get into that in another video. But anyway, guys, take care. God bless. Stay safe. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. I will be seeing you very soon.